Hello, Steelers Nation, and welcome to a brand new episode of Steel City Insider Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremy Hritz, here alongside publisher of Steel City Insider, Jim Wexell. Jim, we finally got preseason Steelers football. It's a W for the team. Some bright spots, some not so bright spots. What's your overall take on this first game?
I think the offensive line was the most important area to watch because 16 starters out of I think I count the punter and kicker, so 16 out of 24 didn't start, and so four offensive linemen did. So why not, right?
Yeah.
And I liked what I saw at tackles. I mean, Broderick is shaky, but he did the job. I they gave up. I know they gave up 2 sacks, but the first team gave up one. And it could have been Broderick could have been culpable somewhat. The guy slid. He was Broderick's guy off the line. He slipped between he and Spencer Anderson, and Anderson gave it up. But it was a coverage sack. And then when you watch it closely, it's like Rudolph wanted to hit Caleb Johnson coming out of the backfield, and he never came out.
Yeah.
So took the sack. Otherwise, Broderick did okay, but Fautano is much better.
Yeah.
Your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, outside of the hands to the face call, which I think some just in my reading this morning, some people are magnifying and blowing that up to be more than what it is.
Really?
Yeah, I saw. I won't name anybody, but I saw a couple, people focusing in on Faletanu who weren't pleased with his performance, and then they cited that penalty. But I didn't really see anything glaring that stood out as a poor performance. And I thought that the pass protection from the offensive line was solid, and especially, and I made notes here that touchdown pass to Mount Washington. Mason had plenty of time back there to read the field. I really felt like the whole time he was in there, minus that one sack where Mason just held on to the ball too long.
That was a coverage sack. That was the one
Yeah,
I was talking about. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I thought pass protection looked good. Now run blocking, that's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I kept hearing the announcers talk about the Jaguars stacking the box. I watched it twice. I wasn't going to watch it 3 times. Please don't make me watch it again, Jeremy.
Well, gee.
Oh, that's why my column was a little late this morning. I want to make sure. And so I just wanted to watch the first team line.
Yeah.
And I kept watching. And then I'm like, let's watch this till the end. There were some questions I had. I thought Bruner um, hit the quarterback right before he released the touchdown pass at the end, but I wasn't sure why Bruner would be rushing the passer, and it was Welshaw, 45, not 44.
Okay.
So for little reasons like that, I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
Um, the pass blocking in that instance, yeah, I mean they were playing a run. The Jaguars were playing a run. Um, Run blocking does take a little longer. This is a smaller group of off. I mean, look at Zach Frazier. He's short, and Fautano's short. Man, Fautano had the better pass rusher. He had the bigger responsibility.
Mhm.
Trayvon Walker, and I thought he played well. And I'm no O line expert, so I'm willing to listen to what other people have to say, but I liked what I saw, and I'm generally, without being able to pinpoint why, my intuition is often right about offensive linemen, and I thought Fautano was better than Broderick. But Broderick was okay. He was okay. He's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And again, it's the first preseason contest. So as I was making my notes and watching the game, I'm trying not to arrive at too much of a final conclusion because it's way too early. So I'm taking everything with a grain of salt. But I mean, there were definitely some standouts. I would like to just kind of go through here
Mhm.
and start there.
Mhm.
Who jumped out. And since we're on the offensive side of the football, we talked about the O line a bit. But Roman Wilson, middle of the field, had some nice catches. Again, I know it's a small sample size, but I think he showed something at least for some hope for what he can contribute.
I like Trey Essex pointing this out on Twitter. I like the play calls. I like how they have the quarterback play action, rolling, boot or waggle, and then throwing, and it helps the offensive line. So that might have helped the pass protection. But I
Mhm.
like the play calling. The screens look much better, and they are determined to get Roman Wilson off and rolling. I think that tells you that they like him
Mhm.
and they want his confidence to be built. And Aaron Rodgers obviously likes him, told him to get out of his own head. Um, so I don't know if Roman did anything special. Do you know if those receptions came while he was in the slot or was he outside? Because he's easily a slot receiver. But how many of those guys are they allowed to keep? I mean, you're going to need an outside guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It almost looked like he just was able to find the weak spot in the coverage for those receptions that he had. And then another receiver got to point out, good old Scotty Miller.
yeah,
I know Mike Prizzuto, the last show that we had on was talking about how well he's performed in camp. And again, I know he's going against the second team there, maybe even the third string, but he played
did a
well
lot
too.
of first team stuff. Yeah. Uh, you have to worry. You have to be careful with seventh year receivers in camp because they know how to win jobs.
Hmm.
So there's that. But as you know, as people who've read my stuff know, I like gritty gutty Scotty Miller. He's he's thicker than Roman, and he's just as fast. I don't know if he's still a 4.3 guy, but he was a 4.3 guy coming out, and he's still fleet of foot. If you ask me, just watching him.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves every chance he's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then going to the running back position, I think that's where probably um, I hate to call it a disappointment again because it's the first game, but I guess that's where the lack of, I guess, standout I get
Mhm.
comes to mind. Getting to see the rookie get some touches back there, little bit of some impressiveness, but nothing dynamic, nothing great. Trey Sermon looked okay, but I
That's
didn't
another
see much.
that's another veteran that knows how to win a job.
Yeah.
And not to diminish Trey. He did a lot of little things right, and that's what a veteran's supposed to do. Special teams, blocking, he did things right. The screen pass for a touchdown was beautiful. Uh, Not only was he untouched, so were his blockers. I know the one blocker, what was it? 71. I wrote the numbers down. 71 and 64, I believe. Uh, 71 was untouched into the end zone, and 64 sought somebody out and did make some contact. So it's not totally untouched. But I like Lou Nichols. I think he has thrown his hat into the ring with Hull and Sermon as fighting for that number four job. And not that there is a number four job available, but if there's one injury, one of those guys makes the team.
Yeah.
And I liked Lou Nichols. He led the nation in rushing at Central Michigan, 1,700 yards and carries. And he impressed me last night. He was running hard. He looked like he knew exactly what he wanted, how he wanted to set things up, and I thought he was impressive. So he is another guy in there. Now you can understand why they cut Ward. Ward can play in the league,
Hmm.
and he looked even better in this spring. But they cut him and picked up Lou Nichols. So Nichols was with the Eagles, another Eagles alert. I don't know who's tipping Waddle off. Hey, there's a guy you ought to look at. We just cut him. He was on our practice squad on and off, and we kind of liked him. You might like him too. Check him out. So
Yeah.
you got those kind of relationships, and they end up with a lot of ex-Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah. How about Johnson? What did you think of his first performance?
Yeah, I mean, he was going against the first team, and he had a drop and had a mental error. He ruined the second drive. It's a process. I know he's got the talent to run, and he's a natural for that outside zone stuff. I mean, he cuts back looking for the big open field, and he cuts back up into the hole. He knows what he's doing with the outside zone. He's talented. Just
Yeah.
give him. I looked up Le'Veon Bell's first preseason game: 4 carries, 9 yards.
Yeah. I think that was that against Kansas City, that preseason contest?
Well, it was 2013. He actually didn't play in the first game.
Okay.
So then I looked up 2014, thinking that must have been his rookie year. And the first game was like 70 yards. I'm like, this isn't what I'm looking for. How can I make my point if this stuff will not agree with my point?
Yeah.
But I went back to the second preseason game of 2013, 4 carries, 9 yards.
Yeah. And again, I think it's early. I could see that outside zone run that if he gets a crease in the space, that
Yeah.
he's got the burst to make it happen. I think it'll just take some time for him. So, again, I don't
He's
think
got to work on his pass blocking and his
yes.
understanding of the offense. It's a process.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. I
Yeah.
hope.
And then the quarterbacks, I mean, we got to talk about Mason Rudolph, but also Skylar Thompson. I mean, those guys put together a heck of a performance.
Yeah, Skylar moves into hopefully he doesn't get picked up and can make it back to the practice squad club. He's not going to beat Will Howard out.
No.
But if there's an injury, he's a competent number three. I think he's better than the number three they had last year, and a lot of people liked Kyle Allen.
Mhm.
So yeah, I liked a lot of things I saw from Skylar. There were some rough patches there, but yeah,
Yeah. And Mason looks like he picked up where he left off. He looked like he's going to be a solid number two for us.
he's going to be able to step in and win key games. He could even, uh, you know, I say, yeah, he could win games for you, but not playoff games. But I'm not so sure about that anymore.
Mhm.
I don't know that he could win a Super Bowl. There's Neil O'Donnell there. It's Neil O'Donnell. That was the comp I always had for him as a third round pick, as Neil was.
Yeah. Well, that little mustache now, he's kind of looking like Neil O'Donnell a little bit because I think O'Donnell was sporting a little mustache, some fuzz there toward the end of his time with Pittsburgh. So
I think he looks like Doc Holliday. I'm wondering if he's paying tribute to Val Kilmer.
possibly, I mean, he definitely looks like a character, but he was fired up out there. It was good to see him.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pass to Washington.
Yeah,
That he threw it up there where only Washington could catch it. It was beautiful. It
yeah,
was beautiful.
yeah. I'm
And
definitely,
I tell you what, the dunk was worth it.
yeah,
The dunk was worth it.
it was.
You just don't do it in a regular season.
No, no, do it now when it doesn't count. I am excited to see week two. I would think that Rodgers will get a series, maybe. You don't think so? Oh
I don't
man,
think he'll play at all in preseason.
I'd like to see him
Uh,
just get a couple
he'll
snaps.
That's because you want to see him.
Yeah,
That's because you skipped camp this year and you're
I
in your
did.
never ending summer vacation.
I know.
You want to see him, and I get that. But he's gonna practice against Tampa Bay, and everybody will be under orders not to touch the quarterback. There are no such orders in these preseason games. He
Right.
really doesn't need anything more than practice and even a hot practice against Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
as long as nobody loses their mind and hits him.
Yeah.
Let that wait. Let that wait till the preseason opener. He doesn't need this. You need it.
Thanks for raining on my parade, Jim. All right, let's shift over to the defensive side of the ball, and I got a guy here at the top of my list that I want to talk about, and it's Beanie Bishop because I felt like he showed up the duration of the night, and he looked like he took a step from last year where he played decently as a undrafted rookie, but I felt like he really contributed last night. No major splash, but just a reliable player.
I thought there was some splash on one of the shorter passes. I thought at least it splashed in my mind. His tackling was solid. I think that's the area that he's improved. Looks
Mhm.
so much more confident out there. But I mean, if that quarterback doesn't underthrow the one go ball, Beanie's beat for a touchdown
Yeah.
and everything's ugly. But he made a nice recovery. He's got the speed to recover. And he
Mhm.
tipped that ball away without a pass interference. I mean, he turned around just in time. That was a really nice recovery.
Yeah.
My point is he got beat initially, and if that's a good throw, it's a touchdown.
Hmm.
But yeah, to your point, he looks better than last year. If he gets cut, he's going to get picked up like that.
Yeah.
So this isn't one of those you hope you can get him back on a practice squad because you have Jalen Ramsey, you have Chuck Clark now. You're not going to cut Killebrew. James Pierre is a special teams coach's favorite, and he has like three camp picks. And Corey Trice is going to try to hang around being injured again.
Hmm.
It's a crowded secondary, and yeah, Beanie made a case for himself last night for sure. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Good call by you.
And the other guy I wanted to talk about too, who I was just it was just great to see him out there on the field, Cole Holcomb, overcoming that injury, but also chipping in a couple plays there. And I would think that if he's healthy enough and he's able to be on the field, I think Robinson becomes expendable.
If Mark Robinson blows up somebody and causes a fumble on a kickoff return, there's going to be a squabble with the special teams coach. He was doing that at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Will he do it again? I don't know. Do they have other guys? Carson Bruner looked really good on special teams. He looks like a natural. I
Hmm.
kept thinking of John Fiala.
Oh
John
yeah.
Fiala played on some great teams. He was a special teams captain, and Carson Bruner's a better athlete. But Fiala had a real knack for special teams, became the captain. Carson Bruner can become a better John Fiala. And he looked good in coverage last night. It looks like he can play linebacker too. Um, Mark Robinson, back to Cole Holcomb. Cole Holcomb looked good in coverage, and that's what I've wanted to see him sprinting.
Hmm.
And he's sprinting. It looks like he has all his speed back. I mean, I didn't have a watch. I'm not sure, but that's not an issue. He looks fully recovered. And the one thing that I did notice was Peyton Wilson. Peyton didn't play all that much, but he was out there with Cole Holcomb, and Peyton had the green dot and was calling the signals. 2 years ago, Cole Holcomb was in charge of all of that and in
Yeah.
charge of everybody. Now I see Peyton Wilson, who's the backup play caller to Patrick Queen. So on the backup, even Peyton Wilson was scooching 55 over and making orders, barking out orders on the field. So Cole has lost that, but it doesn't look like it's bothering him. It looks like he's just happy to be back.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a great story after that injury and missing all of last year. That was good to see. And just some other notes here I made on defense. YA. I got the pronunciation. I have my note here. Jim says YA. He looked decent. It had a nice shed and tackle. Looked big.
He,
I did think
he,
overall the defensive line looked a bit underwhelming though.
well, yeah. I thought Harmon looked good. I didn't make any plays. He didn't make the stat sheet. He didn't tally anything. He's
Mhm.
not on the stat sheet. But I thought he had pressure every time, except one time he was double teamed. I don't want to say he was blown off the ball. Double team drove him off the ball. And I liked Black. I liked a lot of what I saw from Black.
Mhm.
Yeah, 78. He belongs. He
Yeah.
belongs. They he was on the field on rundowns early. He was with, I don't know if he was with the first team at all, but he was out there early. And then he came out late on a lot of passing downs. So they're working his pass rush, and it's improving.
Mhm.
Maybe he just had a bad day the one day I saw him as a pass rusher when he had no clue what he was doing, or he's getting coached up. But I like what I'm seeing. For a guy who wasn't supposed to be much of a pass defender except for batting the ball. He stunningly did not bat a ball last night. You know, if you would have gotten your butt to camp like you did the previous 2 years, you'd have said, "Man, is that guy Manute Bol out there?" You're waiting for YA to do this stuff anymore. But Yeah, a big time run stuffer. I don't remember seeing Logan Lee, and I didn't look up if he played or not. But I was excited to watch him a little bit. Um, Benton got blown off the ball early as a nose. They still do not have a nose, except the guy's name I'll never be able to pronounce from New England, Daniel, number 96, Daniel something or other. And he's built like a natural nose. And I mistrust watching him play late in the game against scrubs, but Benton just isn't a natural nose in my opinion.
Hmm.
Good tackle. I mean, he and Harmon, they made some noise together out there in the nickel front. But I'm looking forward to seeing Harmon. Harmon was a handful for their blocking last night. And I'm looking for that to score and hit home when he's in the middle of Cam and TJ,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
he's going to help them too. It's something I'm looking forward to. I liked Harmon. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people complaining about Harmon today. I liked what I saw.
Yeah. And again, I find myself wanting to go there last night, like, oh, they're losing the line of scrimmage, they're getting blown off the ball on the defensive line, but it's not the complete picture out there. How many starters aren't out there on defense, and we're not going to know what the oh s- symbiosis is going to be like when
I
that
don't even know what that
group,
means.
when the whole group is together. Like, what does it look like when Harmon's out there with Watt, with Hayward, with all the starters? That's the thing. You can make a snapshot judgment off of what we're seeing out there, but it's not the ones, and we're not going to know what that product looks like until opening day. So I don't think we can
And
look at too
Ramsey
much.
and those guys in coverage, they're
Yeah.
suffocating. You thought Beanie was decent last night, and he was. A whole different level with Slay, Ramsey, and Joey Porter. Joey Porter's the third best corner on this team now. Last year he was the best and therefore was challenged more frequently, had more pressure, had more on his shoulders. Now he's got the third guy. Joey, can you handle the third guy? Oh yeah, I can handle him. So it's exciting in that regard.
Yeah.
Juan Thornhill blew somebody up last night.
That was the next thing I was going to say. So
He's Darren Perry.
Look
I
at
don't know if he's
John
as
Fiala and Darren Perry references in one episode.
man, that's how old I am. I'm sorry.
I love it.
In my column last week, I referenced Bobby Douglas and somebody else from like the 1600s. But that's who Will Howard reminded me of. That's the first thought I had was this must be what Bobby Douglas looked like in his 1,000-yard rushing season for the Bears. And, when they were back going 1-13 with the Steelers. But where were we?
We were talking about the hit by
Thornhill.
Thornhill.
Yeah, he's Darren Perry. He's going to be a veteran. I don't know if he's going to be as good a ball hawk, but he might be a better athlete, better, more explosive hitter. So you don't have to have a Pro Bowler to replace Minka. And Ramsey's going to do a lot of that anyway. But in the nickel, it's going to be Thornhill with the five DBs that they're going to use 90% of the time. And Chuck Clark, Chuck Clark looks like the Chuck Clark of old. He has still got it. Not that Chuck Clark was a Pro Bowl guy, but he's a good player that's going to help you as a third, fourth safety. And Deshaun Elliott's Deshaun Elliott. He's a good player, good strong safety, very good strong safety. So those two aren't going to be your Pro Bowl safeties, but behind three exceptional corners, it's going to be all you need back there.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely exciting stuff. The last thing I wanted to do, Jim, here is just pulling up the stat sheet and just reference some of these.
Well, let me ask one guy. I didn't address him in my
Okay.
column. I just wrote a long notes column on a lot of this stuff. I didn't address Jack Sawyer. What was your opinion? He played a lot.
Um, Again, I don't want to be too overreactive, but it just looked like a rookie getting adjusted to the game. So
He
I
got
didn't
caught
really see
inside a
much.
couple. I thought he got caught inside a couple times.
Yeah.
And maybe wasn't as stout as I expected, but he I believe it was a touchdown pass. It was a big play by the Jaguars that he missed hitting the court. He did hit the quarterback. He
Yep.
just missed sacking him and ending what became a big play. So there's that. And it's a process. And he
Yeah.
loves football. He's going to be okay. He's like Caleb Johnson. I'm a little more concerned about Caleb, but not too much more concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. And then just Carson Bruner, 7 total tackles. Sebastian Castro hitting the stat sheet, 4 total tackles. So just seeing some activity there. That was great to see. But again,
I talked about Bruner. I liked what I saw. Very fluid athlete, a natural on special teams. You'd hate to test him, letting him go. I know, we always say this. 7th round picks that get cut, and you're like, ooh, other teams are going to pick them up. They could have picked him up in the draft.
Yeah.
And so you watch a couple special teams plays, and now that's a difference for your 53-man roster. So it shouldn't be a loss. But I think he did look good. I mean, he looked like a natural special teamer and a decent coverage backer. All those tackles, they weren't, it wasn't head-on run stuffing. It was a lot of curls out of the backfield that he was responsible for, and he made the tackles. And was the other guy you mentioned?
Sebastian Castro.
Oh, I liked him a lot. He made a nice tackle on special teams as well. And I believe he popped somebody on defense too. Yeah. Now there's going to be a guy you should be able to get back on your practice squad. And if you get an injury or two, he can make your 53 and help. I like him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think overall, some bright spots out there, actually a lot of bright spots. I think trying to read too much into the performance of the run blocking of the offensive line and the defensive line losing the battle of the line of scrimmage. You can't read into that. It's way too early, but I think some individual players showed growth from last year to this year, and some of the rookies flashed a bit. So definitely things to build on for next Saturday, Tampa Bay.
Well, the 2 offensive tackles, Derek Harmon, Mason Rudolph, there were some important players that showed well enough.
Yeah. I agree.
And the number 2 receiver, they worked that. Still a work in progress. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Jim, we got this thing knocked out early, so we got the whole week off.
I've got a 2,000 word story on Aaron Rodgers to write today. So you go enjoy your never-ending summer vacation.
I will. This is the last one. Your camping trip and a little trip to the beach, and then the kids got 1 week before they go back to school. So they're starting to get a little anxious.
All right, man. Hey, just keep in mind that we've got that 50% off Steel City Insider special through August 28th. Yeah.
All right, so listeners, take advantage of that. We appreciate your support. Subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment, and we'll see you back here next week, hopefully discussing another Steelers preseason victory. Jim, best of luck with your essay.
Thank you. Have a good week, everybody.
Right, take care. See ya.
Johnny, some Danny and some Joe got too. As a child